We're four friends who live across the globe
and share a love of Bon Appétit's YouTube channel.
So we came together to bring you our thoughts on what BA serves up.
And try our hands at recreating their dishes.
Welcome to Pod Appétit.
You were tuning in to Pod Appétit for professional chef skills. This ain't the episode for you. Listen to Meg or LJ or Justine. If you're here for someone who has no fucking idea what they're doing, this is the episode for you. Okay. Hi, I'm Amanda, and today I'm going to be attempting my first Pod Appétit side dish, and I'm going to be making Boozy Ice Pops, which is a Rick video from 2017, so a couple years ago. I am definitely nervous about this because, as I have said on the show, I'm not a cook, but, I'm a booze hound, so let's try this. I'm going to start by watching Rick's video and see how I react to it. Gin. I don't drink a lot of gin, but I have a lot of gin here at the house. We have a mortar and pestle, but I'm pretty sure it's in storage, so I'm gonna have to figure out another way to do that step. Okay, spice mill or rolling pin. I know we have a rolling pin somewhere. Yeah, I feel like buying a simple syrup is so much easier, but that's not the point of this. I'm supposed to cook something. I'm gonna have to just make a lot of drinks for Jeremy with simple syrup. I'm excited about using limes though. Local Concord-grape farmer in Ohio. We just bought Concord grape juice. I have no idea what the ounces are for my popsicle molds. They're from the 90s. Oh, sticks. I didn't think about sticks. Serving to an army. Me, Jeremy, his mom. All right. I'm going to do this thing. Why don't I have a measuring cup for a fourth? God damn it. Okay. 2/8 will equal a fourth. So that's how I'll measure those, I guess. I'm already off to a bad start. These juniper berries, I just start and say, were so difficult to find. Nobody had them in town. I had to order them on Amazon. I mentioned it on one of our recap episodes that I had to track them down, but they're here. I've opened them. Smells like a pine tree. Okay, so I have a skillet. I have to put it on medium. There's the first 1/8 of a cup. I majored in math briefly. I should be able to do this, right? And I'm supposed to move things around like a fancy chef person. Warm yourselves, berries. Warm yourselves. I should probably turn the other burner with the saucepan on to medium now. I'll at least put it on warm. I feel like that's bad ASMR. Nobody wants to hear metal on metal unless you're totally metal. Yeah, I totally should have warmed this beforehand because it said in the recipe on Bon Appétit's website it would take a minute. But that's if you preheat, and I always forget about preheating. Maybe that's something people can learn from this, including myself. You should preheat things. Both Rick in the video and on the recipe online say, once they're glossy, they're not glossy. Oh, now I see what they mean about glossy. It's happening. This is amazing. Oh my God. I think we're almost there. This is definitely taking longer than a minute. Bon appetit. Don't worry, I still love you. That's probably good. Okay, so turn off the heat. See, one of the things I feel like Bon Appetit should tell me, because I'm so not a cook, is how do I now get them out of the pan? Oh, cast irons are heavy. I did it. They're on the thing. Be gone with you, cast iron. All right. So this is when I'm supposed to do a mortar and pestle. But like I said in my reaction, I have one, but it's in storage. And because we live with my mother-in-law, and a lot of our kitchen stuff got put in storage because she has kitchen stuff. And how often do you use a mortar and pestle? Also, some people say pestle, but there's a T in it. I don't know. Okay, so what I'm going to do is the rolling pin method because we have a metal rolling pin. I know LJ had a hard time with the bolognese because it was an existential crisis. I feel like this is the simplest recipe yet, and I'm already there. All right. I didn't put it in a bag because we have a cutting board, I think is what it's called, that I'm going to try smushing these on. Ooh, I don't know if you hear that, but it's all like... Oh, Rick said you would smell them. It smells more like pine now. I feel like I'm the Hulk. I'm Lady Hulk. Hulking out on these berries. Okay. I feel like these look properly smooshed. Next is making these into a simple syrup, which again, Rick makes look super simple. Okay, crushed it with a rolling pan. Transfer berries into a small saucepan. Here we go. Now I need to add 1/4 cup of water. So I live out in the country. We have well water. Since this isn't going to come to a boil, I'm not going to use the well water since we'll be consuming this as part of the simple syrup. So we have, well, it is bottled water, but it's like one of the big 5-gallon jug things and it's a whole thing. Anyway, I'm going to fill up from there. Why is nothing 1/4 cup? My first thing is 2/3 on this one. Okay, time for a new measuring cup. This one doesn't have fucking lines. Oh my God. Okay, found a measuring cup with lines. Here we go. I'll try not to make it sound like pee. Now I need to add the sugar. 1/3 cup of sugar, which I do have the proper measuring cup for that. God damn it. Oh my God, my whole kitchen smells like pine trees. It looks like an extreme amount of sugar compared to the amount of water, but you know, we'll see what happens. Okay, time to transfer this back over to the heat. Okay. So, I'm supposed to do this until the sugar dissolves, according to Rick. This is seriously the first time I've ever done anything like this. See, this doesn't seem like it's making a lot of simple syrup, which makes me think that, like, I'm not going to need to save any. Maybe that's because when I do cook things, which is rare, I do it for, like, big groups. Okay. Oh my God, it's dissolved. I did it. Turn the heat off. Okay, so I'll be back in 30 minutes to strain this. I have let the simple syrup sit in the pan here on the stove for 30 minutes. Here's where I'm not quite sure what to do next, because in the video, Rick instantly goes to straining, but he says he's cooled it for a while. In the recipe on their website, it says to go ahead and strain and then cool. I mean, it's pretty cool. I just tasted it. It tastes sugary. I wonder if I should have crushed the juniper berries more. I don't know. Too late now. I think I'm going to go ahead and strain and just kind of let it cool down a little bit more because it's pretty cool already. I don't think I need to do the whole, like, ice bath thing. Sorry, Justine. I know you'll have to edit all of that out. So he had, like, this really adorable little strainer thing in the video. Our metal mesh strainer is a little bit bigger. So I'm going to do this into another, like, medium-sized measuring cups. Let's strain this sucker. Okay, so what Rick did was kind of like really smush the berries to get all the little bits of juniper berry goodness, I guess, into the syrup. It's definitely not clear. There's little bits in there. What's funny on the website, it literally says just like discard solids. But I mean, I get it. Like, what are you gonna do with these crushed and toasted juniper berries? No, Max, just because I opened the door doesn't mean things are happening. I just am getting the compost. The little clicky toenails are brought to you by my dog, Max. Okay, I found the compost because we should be environmentally conscious and responsible. They can help our things grow out in the garden. Okay, so now, see, this is what I don't think I need to put it in an ice bath. It's not that warm. It's definitely room temp or even a little cooler. So I'm unsure about these little pieces, but I think it'll be all right. I'm so not used to podcasting by myself. I feel like I'm just talking to the voices in my head. Okay, I took a mini break. looked at the video again. My simple syrup looks nothing like Rick's. His is dark. Mine is light with a few small dark flecks. So I don't know if I did this right at all. I'm thinking I didn't. Oh, hell. Okay. Next up is juicing limes. I've never juiced anything before, so this is going to be fun. I don't have the fancy ones like we talked about in a recent recap episode. Don't have either of those. It's an old school glass juicer, but it's more along the lines of the one that in the contest between Molly and Chris when they were juicing the lemons. It's more along the lines of Molly's. Oh, they're little tiny limes. His limes looked a lot bigger. I don't know if I should juice all of the limes. I'm gonna juice all the limes. Rinse, rinse. Rinse those limes. Rinse, rinse. Yeah, my limes are much smaller than his limes. It's not a contest. Oh, knife. Knife helps for cutting boards. This looks like a fancy cutting knife. Also, this juicing of the lime thing was like super fast in the video, and I'm just like, okay, wizard. I don't even know how to cut these things. So, here I go. I cut it! Ah, it happened again! Ah, okay, I cut it again. Hooray, limes! Now I gotta juice these suckers. I really want key lime pie now. I should make that. Just kidding. This is like giving me all sorts of issues. And it's just fucking ice pops. Okay, here we go. Juicing a lime. Oh my god. What's happening? Sort of. Oh, it sounds squelchy. I don't know if Justine will leave that in. Because, I'll be honest, it sounds like sex sounds to me. Or like makeouts. Based on like what this is looking like, Molly might have something. And in fact, maybe we should all be using glass ones. Old school. Old school's the best. Squelch, squelch, squelch. Seriously, so much lime juice. I also kind of like that this recipe is limes instead of lemons, because I feel like a lot of the BA recipes that we see and we talk about, like they're always adding lemon juice as like the tartness. So I like that this one's a little bit different and does the lime thing. It's starting to sound real gross. Less like kissing and sex and more like, I don't know, aliens eating your face. Those limes are fucking juiced. So, I did look ahead at the recipe and it said to do the chilled Concord grape juice. So, I did chill my Concord grape juice in the fridge. Oh, I should find out how much juice my old school juicer made of the lime juice. The juice of 3 small limes. See, that's how I think things should be said instead of like 2 tablespoons fresh lime juice. It should be like the juice of, and then specify. Oh, but it made like almost 2/3 of a cup. Almost 1.5 deciliters. Don't know what that means. It's definitely more than 2 tablespoons, but it says or more in the recipe. I'm probably just going to put it all in. I like lime. Here we go with the Concord grape juice. It just smells like communion to me. Man, if this is going to end up being like straight up communion for me between the grape juice and then also the gin, so then it's like mixed the way like when I went to an Episcopal church, it was just straight up like gross wine. Okay, I just mix it all together. I'm gonna put in my juniper syrup. So the juniper syrup, the grape juice, gin, the most important part. I have Beefeater London Distilled Dry Gin. Now, this is some old school gin. This is gin that I'm pretty sure my granddad brought back from England when he lived there in 60s, late 60s, early 70s, when he was in the Navy. We found it in his basement, like bottles and bottles of it. I mean, not like 4 bottles. Nicely aged Beefeater gin. Both in the recipe and in the video, it said 1/4 of a cup of gin, or I can do more if I want more of a gin taste. I just want more alcohol, so I think I'm gonna go up to 1/3 of a cup. I might do a half. I don't know. I'll taste it and see here in a minute. That's also kind of like how I do drinks. I don't like measure a lot. I like to just kind of do it to taste, but trying to follow the recipe as best I can. I'm gonna pour in the lime juice. Okay, I didn't do all the lime juice because I want to do the little stirry stir with the whisk and then kind of taste and see what I think. Whisked. Yeah, it tastes a lot like grape juice. I think I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of the lime and just a touch more gin. And this is why my friends get real drunk at my parties. I feel like this is good ASMR. Metal and glass is good. Metal and metal is bad. It's like the most Midwestern I'll ever sound. Okay. Time to get my Chris Morocco spoon. Give it a taste. Okay. I like that better. It's tartar. You still get a lot of the grape, but there's tartness, and you do get a hint of the alcohol taste to it, but it's not too much. It's not overpowering. Not as boozy as I would normally do, but I know you run into like it won't freeze. Next up, I gotta put these things in the ice pop molds. I had to give them a little rinse and wash because my mother-in-law said they've been in a Ziploc bag for 20 years. So I've done that. These definitely look different than the ones that Rick had, but I have them and I didn't have to buy new molds. So I'm going with what Justine does and like use the things that I have. Now that I've placed them all, it's actually 11 molds. So we're getting 11. Okay, I'm gonna pour the juice in very carefully. Maybe. I keep bumping the rolling pin I washed. Rick said not to fill it up all the way so that there's like room for juice expansion. I just dribbled. That's what he said. When my mother-in-law bought these to entertain her children, I doubt she ever thought she'd have a daughter-in-law someday who would be making boozy ice pops. But here we are. And I do like that Rick said if there's any left over, you just drink it and it's your chef snack. I like that idea. All I've had today is cereal, so if I do that, I'll probably get drunk. But, you know, whatever. It's a Sunday. Oh. Woo! Okay, that one's a big boy. All right, I'm gonna stop tweaking with these because I think I got too much. I'm just gonna down this real fast. What's left over? It's probably because I added so much more gin. And welcome to Amanda Sort of Follows Recipes. I guess I should pour it. I don't think I could. This is a huge 8-cup measuring glass. I probably shouldn't drink out of that. I'll get a little highball glass. Oh, it's perfect. See, now I'm literally drinking gin and juice. Okay. It says I should put them in the freezer for an hour before I put the sticks in. But like, so this thing doesn't have sticks the way the ones in the video have. They're like these little plastic things that are just like part of the set. Oh man, this big boy is a little too full, I think. According to the directions from the 90s, tells me absolutely nothing. Well done. Okay. I'm going to try doing it Rick's way, and I'm going to let them freeze for an hour and then stick the things in. We'll see how that goes. All right, it's been an hour. I'm going to pull these out of the freezer and put the sticks in them. Okay, it feels a lot heavier. They seem to be pretty stable. Let's get these things in. Okay, first one, not too hard. Oh, they like pop on. Ooh. Oh, I wonder if I was supposed to pop. I think I did this wrong. I think I was supposed to pop the top on after I filled it up and then put in the stick now. And I'm doing the... Rick, why do you make this look so easy? Okay, well, it's kind of half on there. Some of these are definitely a little more frozen than others. What have I been doing with my last hour, you may ask? Working on editing an Amanda's Picture Show a Go-Go episode and watching a bad movie on Amazon Prime. Okay, that one doesn't want to go on still. I'm just gonna have to let it be. The way I figure it, even if these aren't snapping on, like as long as the stick is in there and then it freezes to the stick thing, that's all that matters, right? The lids are mostly on. Gonna put 4 hours on my timer and I'll be back. It's been more than 4 hours. It's actually the next day. So I'm gonna go ahead and try the ice pops now. And it did say in the recipe that it's better to leave them overnight. It is most definitely frozen. And, oh, look at this. I didn't have to get the warm water. It just slid right out. It smells like grape juice and liquor. Here I go. So one of the things that like Rick said in the video was that you do the juniper berry simple syrup. When you freeze things, it mutes the taste. But I definitely am getting a gin taste on this. So I don't know if that's from the simple syrup or the fact that I added more gin. It's definitely frozen. The thing is that I'm finding really interesting about this is like you can really see the ice crystals. A kind of cool, not really pattern, just design, I guess. I like this. I mean, obviously I thought I would. That's why I chose this video. I also thought ice pops can't be that hard. Little did I know. I think this is a success. I'm glad I added the lime juice. Oh, this is melting quickly. I guess that's because of the alcohol content. I think I'm happy with this. We'll see what others think. Which one would you like, Chris?
I will take this one.
So I have my mother-in-law, Chris, with me now. She's going to try one of the Boozy ice pops.
Very grapey.
Yeah, the Concord-grape juices I thought was pretty strong. And it's actually pretty soft if you bite into it. Like, I bit in and didn't freeze my teeth.
Oh, that's good.
Do you like it?
I do.
Can you taste the gin? Is the gin overpowering?
No.
Okay.
Not for me.
Because I feel like if it's Boozy ice pops, I wanted to taste the gin, but not like that's the only thing I taste.
No, I can taste the gin. I definitely taste the juniper berries. Is that what's making the... It's
the gin?
It's like, extra gin taste, but not extra alcohol-y.
Yeah, I think that is the... Okay, that's good. That's the juniper berry.
That's good with grape. I like that. Not really tasting the lime.
I think it just adds a tartness to it to balance out like the sweet of the grape.
Maybe. That's what I'm... Yeah, because the grape isn't like super sweet. I didn't know if that was just the alcohol, the gin, or... Yeah, that's probably the lime.
I think it's all of them. They balance out. See, this is why Bon Appetit is pretty awesome. Because it's the test kitchen stuff. So they all, like, try things.
I'm just sucking this down like it's nothing.
I definitely think it's a perfect summer treat.
Oh,
This episode is coming out on Labor Day. So I think this would be really appropriate for something you could do for
a cookout.
Yeah. September, people are always like, instantly it's fall, but it's not. It's super hot in September. Yeah. It's late summer for most of it.
This is very good.
Oh my gosh, I made something somebody likes. So this is a success?
Oh, yeah.
You would eat more if I made more?
I'd have to, be careful. This falls in the category of, way too easy to consume alcohol in this form.
That's true. All right. So that's one satisfied customer. So LJ is now with me to talk about how the Boozy ice pops went. Or as I said before we started recording, the icy booze pops.
Either which way, they looked delicious on the video with Rick. And I've seen your Instagram of you making your juniper syrup. So I'm intrigued to know how it went.
I think as far as taste and everything at the end, I think it went okay.
Okay, you don't sound sure.
I mean, I thought it tasted all right. And my mother-in-law tasted it last night and she liked it too.
Yeah. So how did it go in terms of, because I know you say on Pod Appétit episodes quite often that you're like the novice of the group in terms of cooking. So how was this recipe for you from that perspective? Was it difficult to follow or did you find it easy or what did you find difficult? And then we'll go with what you found good. Yeah.
Well, so in hindsight, when I was talking through the day that I made them and I talked it through with Jeremy at the end of the day, and the biggest thing where I think I messed up is, as you saw, when Rick made the simple syrup in the video, it was dark.
Yeah, it was really this ambery, browny color, wasn't it? Yeah.
Mine was not that color at all.
Oh, interesting.
I have a mortar and pestle, but it's in storage, so I don't have it here at the house.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had to go the crushing the juniper berries with a rolling pin root.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't think I crushed them enough.
Right. So were they still whole like berries when you were putting them in the syrup, or were they crumbled?
they were like squished.
Squished. Okay.
They were definitely like squished and like opened up to where like, I don't know, I would think of them as muddled if you're thinking in drink terms.
Yeah.
And so talking about it with Jeremy, I think I probably needed to crush them up even more.
Okay. Well, that's fine. That's like a learning for next time. Did you get any of that when you made the simple syrup? Did it smell, or I don't know if you tasted it on its own, but did you get that flavor of juniper berries come through?
Yeah, it really strongly smelled of juniper berries.
Okay. Well, that's okay.
Yeah. So like what Jeremy said is he was like, instead of making a juniper berry simple syrup, he said, I think you made like an essence of juniper berry.
Yeah, that's all right.
syrup.
That's good. That's good for you. At least there was some flavor. Like some people might try and they don't get it at all on the first shot. So that's good.
Because mine was like clear with like a few like darker specks to it.
Yeah, right. That's fine. I think, maybe next time either crush them more with the rolling pin for longer or something until they're like more disintegrated, or get your mortar and pestle out of storage. Just for that.
Just for that, yeah.
Or I noticed on the video, they said you can use the same method for making all types of other simple syrups. So you can do it with other types of spices. So you could try a different spice maybe next time.
I was definitely intrigued by the idea of like doing something with like cinnamon or cloves or something. I thought that would be...
Yeah, for fall or because you wouldn't necessarily need to do a frozen, put it in a ice pop type thing. You could use it for drinks or, all kinds of things. Coffee, simple syrup can go with all sorts of things. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just thinking like you can make your own homemade like pumpkin spice latte with the simple syrup of cinnamon and stuff. That would be cool.
Yeah, I may have said earlier on, why would you make your own simple syrup when you can just buy it?
Buy it, yeah. That is true. Although I would say maybe that is the benefit of the juniper, but that's like it's a less common simple syrup. Like I don't see that in the shop so often, whereas cinnamon ones you see like all over the place. So
yeah, true. And I have plenty of juniper berries left over, so I may try making it again or making something similar.
So which gin, this is an important question as a British person who's really into gin, which gin did you use?
Oh, you'll love this. I used Beefeater.
Yeah!
From the UK.
From the UK.
This Beefeater is from 1971.
Oh my God.
In the UK.
That's amazing. You've got like vintage gin. Gintage.
Like one of the things that I found is, when Rick in the video like opened the gin and he's like, oh, it smells like juniper berries. I'm like, smells like alcohol. I don't
I think that was because, so the specific gin that he used, which was the Bombay Sapphire dry gin, I think different gins have different, I don't know how much you know about gin, so I might be teaching you stuff you already know, but I drink a lot of it.
Okay, no, I don't drink gin that much, so.
I love gin. It's one of my favourite spirits, so I drank lots of different types of them, but different types of gin have a slightly different flavor profile. So you can get some gins that are more botanical flavored, so they kind of bring that note out in it, or you can get some gins that are more citrusy, or you can get gins that are more juniper flavored, and that dry. So maybe I don't think the Beefeater gin, I mean, I've no idea what it was like in 1970, but that's not so much of a juniper smelling gin. It's more kind of straight down the road. It's still a good gin, and it's from the UK, so obviously it's great.
Yeah, I thought you'd enjoy that I used the Beefeater.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's such a good story. And for your grape juice, because Rick was going on about how if you're making it in September, then you can get fresh Concord grapes. I was like, I don't think Amanda will have done that.
No, I totally didn't. Also, it's August.
Yeah.
And I live in Ohio. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there are some wineries in Ohio, but like not near here where I live. Like our next door neighbors are Mennonites. They're not going to have a vineyard.
No. So you just used the regular store-bought grape juice. Was it a specific brand
store-bought.
or?
I'll be honest, I don't remember the brand,
Okay.
but it was like 100% juice, and like I looked at there wasn't any like added sugar or anything.
Great, yeah.
I think the only things that they added were like a couple kinds of acid just to, because it was on a shelf kind of thing.
Yeah. That sounds about right. And was it the same color or was it a different color?
Oh no, it was the same color,
Purple.
that like really deep purple.
That's what you want, isn't it? In a grape ice pop, you want it to look like grape.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that is kind of weird, and I talked about this a little bit, is so I don't drink gin that often, and I'm not super into grape juice. Like, I prefer other juices.
Okay, yeah. I hear
So it was really interesting to try this, and I did like it. But, like, one of the things that surprised me, like, I was talking with my mother-in-law last night, and when I first was like, okay, boozy ice pops, I would have thought, like, vodka would be my first thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would be the same because vodka, you tend to get vodka. Ice pops and vodka go well together. I don't. But gin, I like that it was gin, though. I think gin gives it another feel. And gin, to me, is a very summery drink.
Yeah, and that was one of the things I think surprised me is, like, the flavor profiles of, like, the gin and, like, the juniper with the grape juice. And, like, my mother-in-law was really surprised that there wasn't added sugar to it. I mean, there's like sugar in the simple syrup, but like it's not a ton of sugar.
No. But I guess there's some sweetness from the grapes as well, naturally.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's that's interesting that she would have expected it to be more sugar added. It was like sweet enough without extra sugar. Yeah. That's good.
I mean, because there's lime in it too, so there's the lime juice.
Yeah. The big question that I have about how they tasted, because Rick's pulls them out and they look delicious, just what you want to eat on a really hot day, like great, very summery. But I'm like, does it taste boozy? Like, or does it just taste like a slightly interestingly flavored grape pop?
They do taste boozy, but I don't think overpoweringly so.
Yes. There's nothing worse than feeling like, oh God, I'm going to not be able to drive after this,
Yeah, but I also feel like something that's called a boozy ice pop should taste a little bit like alcohol, but not overly so.
Yeah.
I think that they could be kind of dangerous because it's like they taste so good and it's just like a hint of like the booze, like juniper gin taste.
Yeah.
And it was like I would eat one and then a couple minutes later, I was like, oh, I'm feeling that now.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So you think that potentially people could go in for like a second or a third and then be like, I cannot function.
I mean, depending on your alcohol tolerance, possibly, yes.
Yeah. I guess the saving grace is it's not like a drink in that I feel like if I have a frozen dessert, I'm less likely to go back for like seconds or thirds. I'll eat the one thing and then I'll be like, oh no, that's me. Whereas with a drink, I'll just keep pouring it, and it'll be easy to kind of get carried away. But potentially, if you just really love ice pops, you could go through a whole box.
Yeah. One thing my mother-in-law mentioned was like, she didn't think it would be something easy to do as like a party thing.
Yes.
And I agree, because they melt pretty quickly, and I think because of the alcohol content.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more of a treat thing to just like have at home, or if you just have a couple of friends over.
Yeah. The other thing that's just occurred to me though, if you have kids, you need to be careful that they don't accidentally go, oh yeah, ice lolly.
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, I don't have kids, but I have nephews. And
no, I don't. Yeah, exactly. That's why I didn't think of it until now. Because I'm like, yeah, sure, they're safe to have in the house. And I'm like, oh, no, they're not. Not if you've got kids.
Yeah, you would have to be careful with kids because they'll just look like a regular...
Exactly, they won't know.
They wouldn't know. I mean, and I do feel like it tastes enough like juice that they wouldn't necessarily... They'd just be like, this is a little funny. Because exactly a week before I made them, my nephew Gavin stayed overnight with us.
Right.
And I was thinking when I was like putting them back in the freezer last night, oh man, I'm so glad we don't have any nephews staying over, because they would be like, hey. Yeah. I'd have to be like, no.
Yeah. Especially because I feel like, I don't know what your childhood was like, but mine in the summer, my mum would just buy in loads of frozen treats for us to kind of basically not help ourselves. Like we wouldn't be allowed to just eat ice cream all day, but like after dinner or whatever, it would be like, oh yeah, go and get what you want from the freezer as your like dessert. And if you had those in there, I guess you'd have to put them on a separate shelf or like put them in a box of like an old frozen vegetable box or something that would like mask that they're there so that the kids didn't go for them. Because I feel like if they didn't know and they hadn't been told and you'd just forgotten, they would be like, oh, I'll try this, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would definitely be dangerous.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had the same experiences. We didn't have air conditioning in my house growing up. So we had a lot of, I don't know if they had these in the UK, but instead of like ice pops with like the stick, they would just be like in a tube and you just like cut off the top. And
Yeah. We have those too. Yeah. We have those. We got one that brand of those is called Calippos, but there was also like the clear plastic freeze pops, I think they used to call them. That are just really long, thin.
Right?
Yeah. Really long, kind of thin, clear plastic of all the colours of the rainbow. Like, so yeah, I guess that's one word of warning. Just watch out if you've got kids.
I mean, one benefit is I think like this recipe doesn't make a ton of them. In the recipe, like 10 3-ounce. I wasn't sure how many ounces the things were that I had.
Oh yeah.
But I got 11 of them.
Okay. Just like a random
plus a whole
one.
glass of gin and juice on the side to drink myself.
Oh yeah. Great. That's good. So on the whole, would you recommend it as a recipe for other people to make?
I think I would, especially if you like gin and if you like grapes.
Yeah.
Or grape juice, or a little different than grapes.
Yeah.
I think I definitely would. And if you're not afraid of making your own simple syrup, I feel like that's where I was the most like, what is happening?
Yeah, but now that you've done it, do you feel like confident in doing it again though?
More so? Yeah. I don't know if I actually feel confident, but like...
More, like less scared then, just...
Yeah, definitely less scared than when I started. And also I was like, ice pops, simple. Just kidding, I have to use a stovetop? What is this?
No, I'm really proud of you. I think, you know, from what I can see from the photos, I'm sad that I'm not able to taste them because I'm too far away. It would definitely melt by the time it got to me. But it looks like it turned out really good. So I think you've done a really good job.
Make some for you and Russ.
I will. We don't have any kids to worry about, so it's all fine.
Thanks for listening to Pod Appétit, a Bon Appetit fan cast.
We'd love to hear from you, so find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest at pod_appetit.
And on Facebook at Pod Appétit Podcast.
You can also email us at podappetitpodcast@gmail.com and find all of our episodes on our website, podappetitpodcast.com.
Until next time, the test kitchen is closed.
Hey there, it's Allison Carter. I'm the host of the podcast, Not Your Little Lady. Each episode features a woman living in the South outside of socially accepted norms. Listen and relate as these women share stories about obstacles they faced and how it feels to come out on the other side. We talk about things that pissed us off, the booze we like to drink, and historical women who have made a difference. Through all this, we explore the importance of women owning their past, present, and future while keeping it light and funny. You can find episodes, which are released every other Wednesday, on most podcast listening apps or at notyourlittlelady.com. Be sure to follow the podcast on Twitter at ladiesofnyll and on Facebook and Instagram at notyourlittlelady. Happy listening, y'all!